This is the night watchman's booth. The name on the door reads, René Arnaud. Listen, it's okay to take a few minutes to yourself. Sit down and have a breather.
If you must. But please hurry. We are pretty easy to spot up here.
Nothing incriminating catches your eye. The cabinets are clean and their sparse contents meticulously organized. There's a framed photograph on the table. Looks like the inhabitant is rather pedantic when it comes to order. It's a black and white photo of a young couple out in a street fair. The man is young, dark-skinned, and dressed in a royal...
Why did you take that? Fine. But let's move. I don't want to be seen snooping around here.
The chair is not as austere as the rest of the booth. A thin grey pillow is attached to the seat, secured to the stiles by black ribbons. Stale air floods through your nostrils. Not a single... You stand and... A rusting control panel with several knobs. 2 buttons marked Marche and Arrête are faded with use. It seems to control the large crane above. A container is attached to its hook block. Allumer, on, éteindre, off. With a loud grind, the crane shifts overhead, moving a massive metal container through the air. And with a surprisingly quiet thunk, the harbor sleeps as the strike rages in the distance. The crane can rest again, now that its purpose has been. The rusty control panel grows warm to the touch, then grows cold. A faint smell of burning rubber reaches your nostrils.
I can't see how that was worth the wreckers, except for seeing the crane in action, which I admit was satisfying.
The crane does not return to its original position. Before you stands a cargo container, just one of many in the yard.
You do? Because I don't. There are a million containers here. Why are you fixating on this one? It's a cargo container, Detective. Just like all. We are not here to interact with containers. We are here to talk to the Union, right?
No reply. The knock produces a hollow ring of metal. Doesn't sound like this. You attempt to turn the handle. To your left, the lieutenant considers your actions with some puzzlement.
Container, I'll turn you nice and red. Container, put the logos on.
The lyrics to this container song are being made up as he goes along. The accent is so thick, it's impossible not to notice he's Ubi, from the vanishing peninsula of Up.
Container, used to be Wild Pines. Container, now belongs to Everard. Container.
The lyrics to this, the accent is so
Container. Everard. He looks after everyone. Huh? Well, hey there. I see you are not a union man, mister. Did you get lost? You're not one of them scabs, are you? I mean, I don't personally mind. Folks is just folks, you know, and folks gotta eat. Just some of the other guys don't look too kindly on the scabbing kind, if you know what I mean, mister. Oh yes, born and raised in Irish, mister. Mum had to leave my dad after he got a bit violent. Took us here to the new world. I was about 10 then, too old to lose my accent then. People say us Ubis are up to all sorts of trouble with sheep and other animals and whatnot. I just want you to know there was never any of that where I come from. No, sir. No.
Thank you for clarifying that, sir.
Oh, most of the guys are down at the gates, keeping the scabs from coming in. We're on a strike. The whole union is. You don't have to work when you're on strike. Ha! We haven't worked for 2 months now.
So no one is working?
Not everyone is down there, of course. Mr. Everard is in his office, where he always is. And Jean-Luc is guarding the gate. But Titus and his boys got into some drunken trouble and Everard sent them on a nice vacation. for a week or so. Oh, I'm not really supposed to talk about that. That's union business. Him and his boy stirred up something in town. Probably drank too much and got into a fight or something. I heard Mr. Everett telling him to take some time off. I guess the boys got a bit too rowdy and had to let out some steam. I don't really know the details. That's just how boys are, you know. I haven't been in a fight since I was in middle school.
Easy, Leo. Let's keep this on the heart ease.
Too late. Leo's mouth is still moving, and the words are spewing forth. Now he's talking about some drunk sawmill owner who... No, he already switched to a prized fishing rod he apparently owned at some point. You know what? Just cut in there with your questions.
Yes, yes. Everybody needs a job, and this is mine. I'm like Mr. Everett's right-hand man when Mr. Edgar is out of town. Actually, Miss Beaufort is the right-hand man, but she's a lady.
Who is this, Miss Beaufort?
A real pretty lady with a skin like those Douai Sucre candy bars my missus likes so much. Them are real nice to suckle on once the dinner is done and me and the missus sit down beside the radio. But I can't listen to the radio all the time. There's so much to do around here and I'm always busy keeping things running here. Yes I am, yes I am.
Yes, this place really seems to run like clockwork. Keep it up, Leo.
Well, thanks a lot. Coming from you, it means a lot, really. Sometimes I feel some of the guys don't really get how much I bust my ass for them here. But you guys are alright. Oh, I'm just making some covers for them containers here. Yes I am, yes I am. So it's easier for the crane operators to spot them.
The containers in the yard are green in Wild Pine's livery, and the mountains rising behind Leo is all red in Union colors. It's like some red infection was spreading outwards from the container yard's core. There appear to be cisterns underneath the Union container covers.
No, not really. Mr. Everett doesn't tell me all the big things. Says I go and tell them to everyone. Oh, I don't know, mister. They say it's some chemicals. Most of them have labels on them, I think.
Yes, they are hiding it from the inside. All the red containers have the Debarders Union logo on them.
Oh, no trouble at all, mister. No trouble at all. Oh, that one. That should be empty as far as I know. Lots of containers here have
Told you.
Oh, you want Mr. Everett then? He's an awfully nice fellow, he is. Him and his brother are both nice fellows. They've lived their entire lives in this here. Guys like Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar, his brother, are real good guys. Made Martinez what it is today. Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar and I went to the same school, we did, when we were... Oh, Mr. Everett is where he always is. In his office, of course. Bye-bye now.
Before you is a walrus of a man seated behind a large desk. He looks up from his work, not the least bit surprised to see you. With great effort, he straightens himself up in his chair, yet says nothing. He's with a mixture of expectation and impatience, well bottled.
Welcome, Mr. Dubois, Mr. Kitsuragi. It's good of you two to stop by. Please, have a seat. I'm Everard Clare, head of the Debarders Union here in Martinez. I'd offer you my hand, but unfortunately my health prevents me from getting up. You understand?
He looks extremely comfortable. The tiny folding chair, on the other hand, looks like a torture device.
You go ahead, detective.
Whatever he has in store for you, it can't be good, he thinks. I'll do my best. Forget about that. What's with this Dubois stuff? You're getting some seriously bad vibes from that name.
Please, Mr. Dubois, let us converse in a civilized manner, as equals. Take a seat. I insist. Excellent, Mr. Dubois. I can see that you're a reasonable man, and reasonable men can be of great use to one another. So tell me, how can the head of the Debarders Union help a representative of the Revachol Citizens Militia today?
The chair you're sitting on has got to be the most uncomfortable chair in the world. It's violating your backside.
Oh, by the way, I heard you got a rather rude reception from a certain Lawrence Gart. Some people have no manners, it pains me to say. This should take care of that nonsense. It should be sufficient to cover your expenses for a few days and patch over your differences with a cafeteria manager.
Wow, that's 25 real. That's good money. You need it.
Yes, I know Lawrence. He's a real character. No union man in him. A real piece of work, that boy is.
With a grin, he points to the checker game. It's like you're on a game show. At least don't thank him for it.
Is there anything you'd like to say to me? Or...
No.
Cool? I wouldn't go that far. I'm sure there are cooler things than delivering a comically oversized novelty check to a cafeteria manager. But, sure, if that's what's cool nowadays. Now, I'd like to set your mind at ease about one other matter. Your lost gun. Let me assure you, Union people are on it as we speak. I've got my best hounds looking for that lost gun.
His slug-like lips move, but all you hear is an echo. Lost gun, lost gun, lost gun. The world is swallowed by a black hole of fear. Only two words escape its gravitational pull. Lost and gun. When he said, "Don't worry," he actually meant, be very worried.
I know everything, Harry. Right now, I know that you're worried. Don't be. It's not like you left it loaded. You didn't lose a loaded gun. Local children aren't out there playing with it right now, pointing it into their own mouths. It's in a safe place. I just know it. I have a feeling everything's going to be all right.
It was loaded. There were 2 bullets in it. You always keep at least 2 barrels loaded. Who does this guy think you are? Ronnie the Rookie? You ain't worried about no lost gun, or unpaid bill, or forgotten name. You're the bad cop. You're probably more corrupt than him. The fat man does the same, sinking deeper into his chair than one would think is physically possible. He seems to be enjoying your little display. Good. Now lean in with some corruption.
That we do, Harry. Let them say what they will about you and me. We're both born fighters. I do want you to feel at home, Harry, truly. But you'll have to excuse the humble accommodations.
That's it. Now kick back and add a final flourish for dignity.
You strike me as a reasonable man, Harry. I like that in a law man. Let's cut to the chase, shall we? What can Everard Clare do for you?
I think we'd like to ask you a few questions. Don't you think so, Detective?
Somehow you managed to get yourself out of this one. Now quick, keep the momentum up. Ask questions.
Of course. Let us dispatch with the formalities. You call me Everard, I call you Harry. My God, so it's true. I didn't want to believe it, but you are a fantastic science fiction amnesiac cop, aren't you? What are the odds of that?
I think the odds of that are very low.
I assure you, there's nothing to be ashamed of, Harry. You're among friends, and I have a big fat folder on you, Harry. I'm sure you have a lot of questions. I'm sure you had some concerns you thought I might be able to address. And you were probably right. I can.
It's just a brown folder. You can't make out what's written.
Are you trying to tell me you've gotten hold of some of our documents?
Mr. Kitsuragi, would you mind? Me and Harry are talking about his lost identity right now.
Don't just jump to the folder. That's not smart. Shows you're on the edge. Do some probing first.
Harry, you're not simply a cop, you're a star. A bright shining star in the drab law enforcement sky, outshining all other stars. You're a superstar. Of course I do, Harry. And I'm gonna help you shine. I'm gonna put you on all the big stages, your name in giant neon letters. Harry Dubois.
He's probably just making a guess based on your recent activity in Martinez.
But of course, Harry. Your precinct is the 41st and you live in Jamrock. You're a Jamrock boy. A long way from home, but that's okay. Family? Harry, you're not a family man. There's not one peep of family in here. Unless you think you're a family man. Do you strike yourself as a family man, Harry? That's why I like you, Harry. A good man knows both his strengths and his weaknesses, and you, my friend. This? My friends in your organization gave it to me, Harry.
I find that very suspicious.
I'm afraid this is meant for Union eyes only, Mr. Kitsuragi. I'm sure you understand. Please continue, Harry.
As you look at the folder, Everard covers it with his hand and pets it. Is he trying to hide that it's not a real RCM folder? It certainly doesn't have.
Okay, Harry, you got me. This is from the Census Bureau, not the RCM. Those Census Bureau people are absolutely corrupt. You should do something about them.
He got the name from the Census Bureau, and everything else from your...
Yes, Mr. Kitsuragi, from the Census Bureau. Like I said, now I'm actually a very busy man.
That means he doesn't really. A pity. The mystery of you will have to remain a mystery for the time.
Yes, that's what I said. Try to keep up, okay? Let's move on. Harry, honestly, I'm just relieved you didn't get a hernia. A man your age... You did look like you were gonna collapse and die when I told you about your lost gun. Anyway, I assure you, I am a very well-informed man. Information reaches me before I even get the chance to request it. Yes, your lost gun. My best men up. Your gun will be found, Harry. Let me assure you of that.
The only way to find it seems to be working with him. He might even be holding your gun hostage. Who knows? Only one thing is certain. If you work with him, you're going to get it back. And working with him might be the only way to do it.
Damn it, Harry. That's exactly what it means. I'm only kidding, of course.
Of course. I understand. We help you, you help us.
My dear Harry, there are literally millions of containers in this harbor. I couldn't... Harry, you smooth-talking son of a bitch. Time is a precious resource, and I don't have enough of it to count containers with you.
Smooth talking. Maybe that's the way to go about opening the container. You should at least try convincing it.
Oh, of course. That's your main thing here. That's why you're in Martinez. I know everything that goes on. I mean, it's no secret that the lynching is connected to the strike. So much to talk about. Honestly, it's been weighing on me so heavily. I understand you need to interview me. But there's a thing that's been keeping me up at night. I want to talk about the hanging. I mean, if we could just calmly talk, exchange information, we could blow this thing wide open.
Yes, that sounds good. Let's do that.
But I can't think straight with this thing weighing on me. You're police officers, aren't you? I have a crazy idea. You guys are basically door-opening machines, incredibly talented at opening doors.
I'm not sure I understand. If you're asking us to break down someone's door, it's not going to happen.
Come now. I just need you to go open a little door for me and leave it unlocked. A simple thing. Absolutely nothing shady about it.
An excellent opportunity presents itself, sire. You could win the trust of the arch-liar, pretend to play into his hand. Then, should you wish, bend his efforts towards your own.
Harry, I'm a very busy man, and more importantly, I don't have that extraordinary physique you do. You look like you could run around all day.
You want to send someone a message that the police are working for you.
I repeat, I'm a very, very busy man, Mr. Kitsuragi, and therefore I must occasionally enlist outside help. So what will it be, Harry? Harry, my dear friend, I am what people call a local bigwig. I know everything that goes on in... Oh, no one's. It's just a weasel. A weasel lives there. Nothing for you to worry about. Fantastic, my friend. Just let me know when it's done and we can take our friendship to the next level. You can get the key from Manana. He's down by the gates. Manana's like a free agent in the Union. Special operations. Hardened socialist. A real free thinker, too. He'll tell you precisely where the door is. One last thing, Harry. Just open the door. You don't need to go in or anything. I just want that weasel to come home and see the unlocked door. Wait. You need this to get in and out through the gate. Here. You're one of us now. A real red and white Union man. Take care, Harry.
Yes? Me? I don't see how my life is pertinent to the investigation. That's a fair point. Alright, for the good of the investigation, what do you want to know? That's because I'm half Seolite, or quarter. My father's father was from Seoul, so was my grandmother, but from my mother's side. It's a part of the world, officer. A geopolitical entity, and a geographic division. I told you it would. You're barking up the wrong tree. I don't speak a word of Seolite. I've never met either one of... No.
The lieutenant nods.
What do you mean? I have no idea what you...
The lieutenant's conceptualization skills must be rather rudimentary.
What? Think? I do most of my work inside my notebook.
The lieutenant produces his small... We all have our different mediums. His is written.
That's correct.
You feel a slight urge to put the lieutenant down for this. But you can't quite muster enough testosterone.
Are they? They are mostly just cumbersome. Good. Let's change the subject.
Hey, mister. I knew you'd be back to talk with old Leo here. Yes, I did. It's like Lady Larice said when she opened a bathhouse in the basement of my apartment building. They can only get so far before they're aching to get back. And lots of folk really did keep coming back. No trouble at all, mister. No.
You're back before the cargo container. Its draw has not lessened since you were last here. If anything, it seems to have grown slightly. An imposing combination of a punch clock and a payphone is looking down at you from the wall. A note on the side says, "Tokens unavailable." The machine swallows your coin and seems to be waiting for your next move. Your fingers run over the dial pad. 005. That's the dialing code for Revachol. 4952. And a moment of hesitation before entering the final numbers. 993. Calling. Calling. Still calling.
Video Revachol, 24-hour video rental. We rent 8 and 10mm film for home use. This is Lamy. How may I help you?
The voice of a youngster on the other end sounds as enthusiastic as that of a man walking towards the gallows.
Video Revachol is a 24-hour video rental. We rent 8 and 10mm film for home use. This is Lamy. No. Sir, I don't know. It's a video rental. Maybe you called to extend your rental period? Do you need to extend your rental period? Let me fire up the machine. Dubois. Dubois. Here we are. You haven't rented anything in 5 years, but you still have a copy of Blue Ocean Hell from November 46. Whoa, not a fun film, that one. It's not an easy watch. After the death of his daughter and subsequent divorce, Ziemsk immigrant... No wonder no one's been missing it. Still, it would be great if you could return it to us. We're on the corner of Voyager and Maine.
The call is terminated by the other party. You're left with... front of this quarterly journal features a large satirical portrait of the late King Fries. To your disappointment, there aren't any full-color pictures, no advertisements, you notice. So who's funding? After rifling the pages with your thumb several times, the magazine is divided into several sections. International developments. Unsurprisingly, much of this section is taken up with articles declaring unqualified support for the dock workers' strike. You skim the headlines. Paint the harbor red and white. Martinez tames the wild pines. A city in revolt. Finally, there's a brief article by the writer, G. Martin, accusing the owner of the Capeside Apartments of illegally attempting to evict certain communist tenants simply for not having paid their rent. According to these editorials, there can be no accommodation with the forces of judging from the context. It's something very large and fundamental. You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you. This section includes a long... You also skip over an article about heavy fuel oil... Whoa. Bear wrestling. Flip back to that. It seems to be part of a new public fitness initiative in the people's... According to this extremely credulous account, Uncle Sport, as he's affectionately known to his people, has recently decreed bear wrestling the national sport of the SRV. Of course not. The article makes plain that this is man on bear, or in some cases, woman on bear competition. 2 competitors, 1 ring, 5 rounds, or until incapacitation. According to the SRV's Ministry of Information, the program has been a tremendous success. Public support stands at 87%, and youth obesity and alcoholism rates are down 12% and 7% respectively. That's very much the idea. President Kaczynski has long maintained that a strong body is the best defense against capitalist...
The Samaran People's Republic? No, I should expect not. Why do you ask? They're quite the spectacle, as I understand. I've heard they make the people in the front rows wear plastic sheets. On account of the blood, you see.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you. Comrade, as you know, this journal takes its name from Mazov's immortal expression. But, like the structures of capitalist ideology, we too are at risk of going à la fumée. Unlike many perhaps they've overestimated the market. So please, if you value our radical Mazovian perspective on contemporary politics, culture...
What do you expect? It was laying around the office of the Debarders Union. They're probably bankrolling the thing.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of It takes a moment, but gradually it dawns on you. As you leaf through this section, you come across several reviews of recent radio plays. As well, the main feature, though, is a long essay titled Tip Top Tournée, a critical Mazovian. You flip back to the... On second glance, someone has forgotten to properly close one of the drawers.
It's unfortunate for the Union to just leave their paperwork lying around like this.
The drawer opens smoothly. Inside is a hundreds of documents containing logistical data. Two kinds of transactions stand out, and the same materials being handed over to companies inside Revachol: Couron, Coal City, La Delta, and Jamrock. It's hard to make sense of this thicket of company names, dates, quantities, and percentages. You try to focus, but the lines are getting blurry. The drawer slides. Hobocop. Technically, you wouldn't be a cop anymore, but a hobo. That would mean game over for the cop chapter of your adventures. But who knows where the hobo part takes you? To the bar? The old L'Assommoir? To the pier or the sewers? To Le Royaume, where for 300 years they interred the dead. You could plunder royalist crypts for long-forgotten triple malt bourbon, then fight the Aramakan beast that lurks the bottommost sepulchres. The secrets of the city are all yours at last. The file cabinet stands steady as ever. Whatever's hidden here is hidden well. Concentration isn't enough. Only a trained accountant with a background in logistics would be able to really make sense of it. However, there is a little handwritten note. It appears to be a to-do list. Remember, Leo, Everart's shoes, special whirling borscht, water Everart's plants, sweep office floor, more banners. All items on the list have been crossed out, and the note itself is crumpled.
One of his aides must have left it. Nothing incriminating here.
Remember, Leo, all items on the list have been crossed out, and the note itself is crumpled. The drawer slides.
Nobody betrays your degeneracy.
Yeah, Measurehead. His body totally betrays his degeneracy.
That is precisely the negligence that has led you to succumb to Al Ghul. You reek of it. An invisible sword of Al Ghul emerges from your throat. You cannot see it, but others can. It is making the woman in my company sick.
It's not good.
It's like a rat crawled into your stomach, got drunk and drowned.
Yes, Al Ghul. Al Ghul is an ancient Ilmaran poison, a parasitic fungus that has colonized your race. It is a trick correct, my small skull servant. No, you don't. You need to get another drink. Occidental Haplogroup B4 is done giving orders around here. The influence of the ham sandwich race, begging for help, attempting to pass fear for cooperation. You gave the world eugenics, electricity, and powerful weapons of war. You dominated lesser cultures, like the deformed Hemians and the inexplicably potato. You will be superseded.
It is, baby, yeah. You know it.
Enough with this begging. You should bring your troops to the Seminine Islands and to Boogie Street. The walls will be lined with bottles of Al Ghul, your beloved beverage. Inside, we will store the odes to homosexuality you call art, and your microcephalic skulls. Don't be vulgar. White or not has got little to do with this. The race enigma runs much deep. Mr. Clare is a man of vision and mean. Also, to serve is noble. It takes discipline. Your petulant individualism has only jam. Individualism. You have gotten these ideas from degenerate youth culture, have you not? You have picked them up from offshoots of the Seminoles. People invented disco while having sex under the influence of cocaine. I am not surprised you enjoy it so much. This has happened to many of the side products of the inevitable cultural victory of the Seminoles race. The South Island race. Haplogroup A4A. We are the future. That is all. I am a descendant. The narrow streets of Ulumbuir are with me in my genetic dreams. I see young Seminoles women walk into the grey mass on Ile de Fantôme, waiting on immaculate conception from the good.
He does not so much as glance at the object.
Stop showing me your pathetic cup. I have no interest in it.
I think this racist is better than the last, but the next racist will be the really good one.
That will be the...
He will grant us 3 wishes.
Your pedomorphic friend has quick wits. A portrait.
The lieutenant does not flinch.
You should keep him close. The congenital defect of farsightedness does not render him a complete invalid. He still...
Go ahead. Don't be shy. Just ask for race secrets. That's understandable. Jean-Luc Measurehead is a sage and an intellectual giant of race theory. Who are you, handmaiden of Al Ghul?
Racists are generally not very good examples of their race.
Welcome to Revachol. You hear him yell at a...
I am not like them. I am craniometric perfection. I have taken the trouble to permanently draw a phrenologic grid on my skull. Correct.
So, how'd you like our harbor? It's but a rest area on the path leading across open plains. Right, you talk to the boss, eye to eye, like men of the plain. If you have any more questions, I'm set to talk. A key, huh? What door is this key supposed to open? Oh, say no more. I got you. I got that key right here. And let me tell you, it's mighty good of you to help us out during the strike. Working class solidarity, as they say. Polar weasel? Oh, I know what you mean. I'm pretty sure he's actually Occidental, though. What you're looking for is a basement door behind the greenhouse. That's behind the whirling in rags. That's all I know. Our organization is what you call compartmentalized. Means we keep out of each other's business.
Okay, but where did you get the key from?
The janitor gave it to me. Nice fella. We talked about life and things that really, truly matter. None of this mess we're in. This jiving and juggling. What's it for? I'm more of a philosophical dock worker. I like to talk about the big picture stuff. Who I am, who you are. We're negotiating our share. Aye. This stuff, they already covered. It's not enough. Not enough to get ahead. More about keeping us in our place. All of it. However, right now we want all the harbor workers to be on the company's board, so they could take part in the decision-making process. I think it's best you make up your own mind now that you've met him. In my eyes, he is a capable organizer and a decent businessman. I guess you kind of get to be the village chief. You oversee...
By that, you mean corrupt?
By heavens, why would he not be corrupt? We live in a harsh and disordered world, see? The old man is corrupt for our benefit, and we know it. Appreciate it even. He is, personally, not too lavish. He is reasonably lavish, sure. That's his prerogative. It's not like you... Besides, there are no non-corrupt systems in the world anyway. Sure thing. The mercenary, eh? Who could have killed him? That's indeed the question. Why even do such a thing?
The man whispers a jaunty tune. A coast...
Bastards! We have a right to work! Hold up and stay frosty, everyone. Cops are here.
You here to fuck with us? Beat the honest worker down.
Good. We're fighting for a cause here.
Right to...
Besides, we're not that different. It helps if people see us talking, cops and strikebreakers together. Shows authorities are on our side. Builds confidence. Maybe you should ask them the questions, like why we're not allowed to make a living here.
We have families to feed, you piece of shit.
So do we, Scott.
When a bunch of ungrateful, lazy cockroaches can't get their act together, decide to block honest work for other people.
Beats me. They mumble nonsense about boardrooms and workers' rights, while we have the right to work!
There's something odd in the way he carries himself. His set of clothing looks vaguely mismatched. The different pieces of the attire seem ill-fitting. His shirt is far too small and an unpleasantly tight fit, while the overalls, held up by a belt, seem to fit a man with much more corpulence. He ignores your question, choosing instead to turn to the emaciated workers, raising both fists in the air. The clothes are obviously not his. Silence is the answer. There's something off here, but he won't say what.
We were promised work. We'd be in there, working, if the bastards hadn't shut the gates.
Main gate's locked. Would take heavy ordnance to bust it open. Could try to get in through the secretary's office. Door's locked. The guard, and I don't mean the scrawny mess punk either. I mean head measurer, or whatever he is. Why don't you go arrest them instead? I'm sure they've done plenty of criminals.
It would be better for the neighborhood if you went home, at least for now. If you...
No! They will give up eventually. Or get drunk. Leave the button unguarded. Then, honest men and women with rights to work, to be useful, not toys for corporate interests. We came here to help the harbor run smoothly in time of crisis. If union fucks don't want work, they ought to let in those who do want work.
I have a question. Why do all these men follow your leadership?
You think they follow because I'm big and loud? No. They follow the rules of the market, the rules of the economy, because they were given a job to do!
You've been talking to him for quite a while now. Something is off with this guy. Ask him where he's from.
What's it to you?
Am I a suspect? Done no crimes. I only fight for the rights of people. We're all workers, right? Workers stick together. Came from the eminent domain, in Jamrock. Backgrounds in odd jobs, heavy lifting, cargo hauling, bouncer work. I know the drill. Worked at Territorial. Ring a bell? Uh-huh. It was a long time ago. What's it to you? No. Don't think we've met before.
The man has turned his attention elsewhere. He shakes his fist slowly.
What's it to you?
Big mess, caused by union greed.
We're all workers, right? Workers stick together. Worked at Territorial. Ring a bell? We're done here. I have a strike to break.
woman does not greet you. She nods along to something on her radio. A photograph is clutched. No response. Wherever this woman is.
Wait. She's just a distracted old woman. Better to leave her alone.
As you look up, you notice something about the statue. There are some odd indentations on the king's chest piece. Something with great kinetic energy seems to have impacted. Someone shot him in the heart. Interesting.
Okay, I can't see it, but I take your... Well, Martinez is riddled with bullet holes. This place saw a lot of action during the revolution. But the statue is recently renovated, so maybe a joke? Target practice or a political statement? Why not? What this shows us is guns aren't too uncommon here, and people still shoot them, sometimes at kings.
The king stands high above you, surveying the bay, mute and indifferent. What did he do? You have no idea what you did a week ago. High above you, the king stands triumphantly oblivious to your...
Welcome to Revachol.
This man looks like trouble. You might not want to get into this right now. Plenty of time later.
Don't you welcome to Revachol me. My grandfather came here from a 3,000-year-old racist isolationist culture, while your ancestors, every school of thought and government has failed in the city. But I love it nonetheless. It belongs to me as much as it belongs to you. It's men like you who keep Revachol divided, making it that much harder for everyone to climb out of this post-war limbo.
Oh, come on, man. I just said welcome to Revachol.
I know exactly what you meant. You think my kind doesn't belong here. But you see, I'm an officer of the RCM. It's actually my job to make sure you behave.
Silence. The ebb, your partner needs backup. Now's your moment to shine.
I haven't learned anything I didn't know before.
The lieutenant exhales. and resumes his regular calmness.
Whatever you say, officers.
He smells of heavy motor oils, and his breath of high tar content.
Oh man, that's great. Look at that guy go. Haven't seen anything that funny in a while. God damn. Thanks for that, but no, it's not mine. Oh, not much anymore. I'm here to pick up some cargo, but the dock workers are on strike, so it's a sit and wait on your ass situation. The strike? Oh, they've been at it for a while. A month, 2 months maybe. But this here is just the last week or so. Apples. Yeah, apples. I take...
He's given you the runaround. Let's be honest, you were bested.
It's about biological determinism. Not the most popular topic nowadays, with the coalition in charge and all. You might want to change the topic. That is, bury your head under the sand like common sheep.
Not sheep, ostriches.
Whatever, go back to your college class, Bino. People who've studied these things say that you and me are superior by design. So, naturally, we Occidentals should be in charge. Obviously, you can see the merits in that. Open your eyes. Haven't you noticed something different lately? An unfortunate downturn, maybe? Huh? When members of the superior race cease to believe in their innate superiority, they stop competing for resources. This concerns you, policeman, so you better be vigilant. The damn kips are showing up good lately. Same with the mosquitoes. And the other intruder species too. They're on the precipice of cultural victory. It's what the kips of Boogie Street are going for, right under our noses. And the others too, on the radio. Heard any chansons lately? Heard any motetos or leader? No. Dominating culture is how they... It's true. Also, you need to realize the dangers of mixing races. Who knows what might happen if people don't stay in their birthplace? You might end up with a new sub-race, with unknown characteristics, leading to extra competition. That's why you've got to control the offspring. Don't push your luck, Runt. Looking for something, Runt? Come to tell me to fuck off again?
I can't believe it's snowing again. It felt like springtime just a few days ago.
Magnesium-based life form. We tell them, hell no. You're about to become a magnesium-based life form. The age of the primitive carbon man is done. No longer must mankind rely on slow-working background radiation to take us further into our genetic destiny. This is the era of guided evolution, and magnesium is the key. You are the first of your species. The next step in human evolution. An advanced magnesium proto-man who mags it up, drinks it down, and sniffs it sideways.
Can I help you? Thanks. I hope you found what you were looking for. How strange. I certainly didn't put them there. Sylvie had the keys before I got here, and I can vouch for her. I can vouch for the trash collection service, CS Municipal.
Ah, the elusive CS Municipal. I doubt we'll be able to track down who was sent here last and when. This will have to be one of those little threats that solves it. Thank you anyway.
I think fugue states are more your forte, officer. Yes. What thing? Yes, not the whole damn union, thank God. Just the nastiest and loudest faction. They come here in the evenings. Dumb, unruly types. Think they're big shit.
We should find out who this Lord faction is, occupying the booth. Loudness means talkative, and we need info. We don't. We have to wait. They'll show up sooner or later.
You glance at the clock on the wall behind the manager. Huh.
Good question.
They're probably getting drunk or protesting something somewhere. Or laying low after the, lynching. They probably fucking killed that guy or something.
I have a feeling we'll make their acquaintance sooner or later.
What?
By the way, you should come back to this thing-based questionnaire if you see anything interesting in the whirling later.
Another thing. Great. I love that. Yes? Yes. Have you got it? You must be joking, right? You come here, trash everything. This isn't a game show. I'm not going to accept it. You owe me cold...
You can cash it in at the local frit near the harbor gates, though it might not be enough to cover it.
A lot. For the room and broken window? Like what? I was rarely enjoying talking about the...
A thin man is smoking below an exhaust hood. As you step in, he nods toward the table and says something in a completely foreign language. It must be his name. Garanzi. Garanzi, Quebec. Sounds representative. The man puts his cup down and replies something, his left hand drawing arcs in the air. He smiles and bangs his ladle against each of his pots in turn. You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimple lock. It's painted.
You do? It's a door in the back of the kitchen.
The winch. Outside. In the backyard. Remember? No? Your fingers do.
Well, if there was a winch, I suppose we could look into it. As a side investigation. Hardly. Anyway, Gart is the person to ask about this. The cafeteria manager.
The door does not, but the cobalt blue, old cobalt paint. The man ponders his cook. He looks up at you, then looks away. Shrugging is an international sign for No, I don't know what. You see, ahead the door doesn't. The door is closed. Still nothing. The lieutenant gives you a quick glance.
Hello, sweetie.
Wait, who's Sweetie?
You're a handsome man, officer, with your mustache and... But dear, you're not for me. I'm too... You must forgive me. I'm getting so scatterbrained. I'm Lena. My husband Morel and I are staying with our friend Gary just down the street, but I come here for tea when they're away.
This Lena is wacky enough for the motley crew. Hire her on the spot.
Whatever do you mean? Sequence killers? Oh my. But I think you already have a partner.
A partner who needs you to help him get a corpse down from a tree. I can assure you with absolute certainty, there...
Now, gentlemen, no need to squabble. I wouldn't be of much use to you anyway, sweetie. Thank you, but Martinez isn't the most wheelchair-accessible place. Perhaps another time. Of course, dear. Good luck with your case.
The dented yellow mailbox greets you with...
Hello, sir. Step right in. The store is open. I know, sir. Are you interested in a new and exciting book? Okay, sir. I'll try to answer any question. My name is Annette, sir. My mum, her name is Plaisance. She owns the store. She's inside minding the register or organising the stock. Feel free to step in and browse our wares. I'm signalling that the store is open. Otherwise, people might not know. They'd miss out on the crime, romance, and biographies of famous people. Thank you, sir. I'm glad to help Mum out with the store. Crime fiction is about murders or burglaries or things like that, and the work of a policeman or a private detective who's trying to solve a crime and catch the criminals. And it's kind of like a puzzle too. You don't look much like a policeman. didn't mean to offend, sir. Sorry, sir. It's just that you don't look like Dick Mullen. Head? Yeah.
No, your mind.
No, he's wicked smart in the stories. Like you, sir, of course. He's just a fictional character. Maybe you can show me some real police work, sir. Like in the books. Every snowflake is like a little gift from the sky.
The girl keeps her hands folded, hidden. Why is that?
What do you mean, sir?
She looks around anxiously. Her hands The lieutenant stands by, looking at the two of you with little interest. She brings out her reddened hands, her nails frayed, nearly chewed down to the flesh.
And you knew this from me keeping my hands folded? Well, that proves nothing. Anyone could do an easy deduction like that.
She nods, half provocative, half enthusiastic.
Maybe so, sir. Okay, I know it's a bad habit, and I shouldn't. It was okay, sir.
There's more that can be achieved here. Ask her to do the same.
You're quite sober.
The lieutenant does not flinch at the comment. He does not flinch even a single bit. He is intensely not flinching. It takes effort.
Because you usually aren't. I'm sorry, sir. I hope...
There she stands, swaying on her feet, assaulted by the early spring breeze. She smiles at you. The whole situation suddenly feels familiar, somehow.
No, sir, I can't. It would be too tiring to refrain from it. It's already tiring enough to remember to say it all the time. It's nice of you to say I could stop, though. That's a friendly enough face, most of the time.
Because you know each other. She's been talking to you so openly because you've talked before.
Yes, I stand in this spot all the time. You've been running around all week without your shirt on, sir, telling people about being a star or something. I don't really understand who those stars are. Of course, you've stopped by a few times. You certainly look better than the last time I saw you. Yeah, I can see. You don't have party eyes anymore.
Party eyes. Yes, of course. That makes sense.
You know, like a cat in the dark, all big and wide-eyed. It certainly looks odd on a man.
The swiveling eyes of a loony drug addict. That is what she meant. You were probably gurning too. Fuck yeah. You should get some party eyes right now. Snap those sequins on you, boy. Oh, baby, that's not what you have to worry about. Worry about the important thing.
I'm glad I could help you, sir.
Fuck does Kuno care? The fuck do you want with it? Good call, Pigmeister. Don't the fuck about it. You're testing Kuno's... Get lost! Yeah, the kingdom of Kuno. The fuck do you want with it? Yeah, Kuno doesn't know shit about that. That shit is beneath Kuno. Listen, listen. Kuno doesn't care about this small-time shit. Just listen. Kuno saw what you did there, dumpster diving. Sad shit. Kuno could hook you up with some sweet rags. Shit like Kuno's wearing. Your size, good price. 500 real.
Despite the early spring chill, the boy is wearing short track pants that leave his legs exposed below the knee. They look dynamic. You'd have to be blind not to notice the giant white letters F-A-L-N running down his trouser leg.
Pig, these are found modulars. Liquid fit, performance crotch, urban survival shit. Made in Mirova by scientists. Pants scientists. Believe it, you need this shit.
These could drastically improve your chances of survival in the urban wilderness. Coach Physical Instrument endorses these pants. They are tartan ready.
Look, Kuno ain't seen shit lying around, except for that up there. Now you want performance gear or not, Grandpa?
The lieutenant remains silent, but his expression couldn't say, "I told you so," any louder.
Alright, Pickle, shit's right.
Don't do business with the pig, Kuno.
As you can see, Kuno and C don't trust you. Can't do business without trust. The fuck? A mug in the trash? Is this about the fucking clothes again? Yeah, Kuno sees where this is going. Kuno's got that fast brain. You saying you pigs are after the mug fucker? 'Cause he's the clothes fucker?
I can't hear you, Kuno. Speak louder, Kuno.
Shit, that's tense. Someone's going to the beat-down basement, huh? Mug guy gonna get tied to the radiator. Kuno doesn't know who put that shit in there. And if he did, he wouldn't squeal. But if you find out, maybe you can...
Stop turning into a pig, Kuno! They're trying to get you hooked on the snitching! Get away from my Kuno.
Yeah? Get your bacon shit away! Kuno doesn't like to be seen with the Look at that fucking shit! You're trying to get Kuno killed! Fuck does Kuno know? Kuno's not a...
Kuno knows the ladder is unclimbable. The lieutenant takes a quick note in his notebook.
It's a trap, Kuno! Don't climb it, Kuno!
Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit. Kuno's Kuno, pig? Shoot that shit at Kuno, piggo. Kuno doesn't...
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dedicated to that corpse smell. Emitting it is all it does now. The smell is repulsive. It pushes in from Too late. It's impossible to keep in. Until a pool of vomit lies under your feet. The smell of Commodore Red rises from the pool. Among it, distilled spirit and bits of shish kebab.
Keep it. The hangover is clearly making this worse for you. You could use some ammonia to clear your head. If you can handle the headache, some officers use it to deal with cadaverine odor. I can't handle the headache.
It's more likely he can handle the smell, unlike you.
That young woman, the gardener, mentioned she used salts for the smell. If she doesn't have any, there might be some in the fridge store nearby.
Hello again, officer. How are things? Sure, I'm done with them. Go easy on that stuff. It gave me a terrible headache.
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dedicated to the ammonia only makes it worse. The combination the second time, not so much. When the vomiting is done, your cheeks are wet with tears.
Get a hold of yourself. I've seen strong men turn themselves inside out for hours. You are facing tough odds here. Alcohol withdrawal makes it considerably harder. I've seen captains puke their guts out. It never gets easier. You never get used to the smell. Every Monday is cadaver day. Throw up, investigate, throw up, and then drive to the station. Maybe throw up on the way there, if you'd... I think I've lost my sense of smell. Not being hungover helps too. No. This is a two-man assignment because it needs 2 officers to complete. You need to get your shit together. We should go talk to the locals. Find something else to do while the wind changes. It's pretty bad right now. Give it half an hour. Get yourself together. Then come back and have another go.
Have you no shame? Whining about your back every time you bring out the measuring tape.
René, you're a man with a fork in a world of soup. Please, let's just try to enjoy the game, all right?
I'm trying to, but you keep breaking my concentration. You're old. I can see that. We're both old.
These manly men are playing balls. This is a ball game. Grab a ball and play it. Don't ask questions. Shoot first. Ask questions never. That's the spirit. Don't even waste your breath asking about the game. They wouldn't know anyway. They're way past their prime. You are immediately surprised by the ball's lack of weight. No matter, you'll make it work. A chilly breeze ruffles your hair as you stand there, feet firmly planted. All sounds, smell. The cold metal ball is surprisingly smooth against your neck. It has a pattern on it, probably a sponsored ball. Yours would only be covered with bumps of learning, and already your muscles are adjusting to the weight, the nervous system calibrating, until you and the ball have an embodiment of pure motion, a fine-tuned locomotor running at maximum.
Merde! Bordel de merde!
It wasn't mid. The shot was at least 23 meters, probably 24 and then some. Nothing to be embarrassed about.
What the hell is your problem? I don't care if you are a cop. You do not just ruin someone's game. It's so goddamn disrespectful. You vandalized our game, son. We can't play pétanque with 5 pool. No, you don't. Our pétanque game...
Take it easy, René. This is just a misunderstanding, isn't it, officer? No.
Of course there's harm done, you orange slug. You are as a goddamn bull. Good. Mistakes are forgiven, when men at least try to right their wrongs. I believe you will try. Now, why did you approach us? Unfortunately, I don't. Unlike most of the locals, I have no qualms about assisting in Martinez. The union is the law, so can you really blame them? Cop is a pejorative term. I don't have a problem with policemen. On the contrary, if I knew, I would not be afraid to tell you. I simply don't. I'm an old man, not a coward. The daily business of the riffraff no longer... Yes. The terrain here provides an interesting variety. I do. Fire from heavy artillery. Why what? Because that's what happens when communards hijack your country, execute your supreme leadership, and turn your capital into a slaughterhouse. You use heavy ordnance to clean up your home. Fine. What do you want now, then? Ah, yes. King...
Oh, absolutely. At the mercy...
A superpower, feared and respected. A testament to what this country can be under the leadership of a true king, decisively, without fear of offending the sensibilities of the frail and weak-minded among his subjects. This is something the insurgents never understood. Revachol would be a different place if...
Don't get started on that again. What happened, happened.
The Carabiner doesn't reply, but his entire being communicates. No one and nothing can change this man's mind. He is as rigid as they come, still in that antique uniform.
Oh, old Philip was a big fan of the purple-nosed candy the nobility loved so much. A cocaine connoisseur.
You can't even take responsibility for yourself. That's why the Philippian kings use cocaine, for clarity of vision.
Of course. Clarity.
Philip III was even brought into this world with the help of cocaine. The court made him administer the dose to his mother when she was in labor, and it is well known that with the help of cocaine, only the purest, of course, he was able to connect with higher realms.
Please, officer, don't encourage him. Do spare us the cocaine fairy tales.
Yes, indeed. We're not here to investigate the drug trade.
Right. Yes, the Debardeurs Union pays me to stand vigil during the nights. Not out of any political allegiance. I'm an old man. Don't sleep more than a few hours every night anyway, and money is tight. Yes, it does. Unfortunately, I wasn't working that night. Been on a 2-week leave since last Monday. It's a private matter.
You see, officer, René is the kind of man who'd rather die than admit he needs...
I'm fine, goddammit. Mind your own business. It's nothing. Just got to cut back on coffee. No one. The bus has been unmanned since last Monday. There's no...
No one has been guarding the container yard?
Yes. It's...
Look, officer. The container yard doesn't actually need a guardsman. Never had one before René. Monsieur Claire had that booth built specially for him. It's mostly decorative.
The possibility of someone being in there is enough to discourage any ill...
Evrard created this job for René. Because he knows the Royal Carabiners' pension of honor and PTSD isn't something a man can live off. A decorated kingsman collecting tear reflects bad on the whole neighborhood. His words.
Can we conclude the topic of my guard booth now? She is nobody. This is none of your concern.
The lady is Jeanne-Marie Beaulieu, and she sure as hell wasn't a nobody.
Yes, yes. Like I said, I would be up anyway.
Hey. Psst. Yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start building communism again. You keep saying things like, down with the bourgeoisie, eat the rich, sodomize the landowners, impale all people who have more than 25 real in their pockets, literally murder all human beings regardless of their political beliefs. That kind of stuff. Okay, not in so many words, but don't deny it. You're about to rip off that mask of social democracy and reveal the monstrous seven-eyed lamb of global Everyone can see that. So tell me, do you have any questions before we fire up the big communism builder? Or do we get failure? It's about failure. Yes, abject failure. Total, irreversible defeat on all fronts. You alone, against every living thing, against every human alive. 800 trillion real in the hands of an impossibly well-organized ruling class. Towering city blocks of bankmen who have the ears of prime ministers. Million you against the atom, the charm and the spin, where the whole world failed. Matter failed to bend to human will. Human will failed to get. Now get to work, comrade. Very well. I guess no one will build communism then. Tell the... Let not failure ensnare you any further, beautiful pixie girl. Be an acrobat. Anyone? There's one. You should build communism, precisely because it's impossible. Oh yeah, get the firing squads and the animal wagons ready. Too late to back out now. You can't make an omelette without breaking. There's a pile of cheap sunglasses in a small...
You like sunglasses, officer? I've got the latest styles.
Stylish shades, huh? They'd be even more stylish if you paid for them with net worth. Go over and ask him. These are all boring. Boring, third-rate. Those UV stickers are almost certainly just there for the show. If anything, these lenses...
These are all first-rate sunglasses. Premium design, superb material, very cool. UV resistant. These will definitely keep your eyes safe and...
No luck. All you find is this lime-colored...
Oh! That visor is perfect for you.
Hey, at least it might actually offer some protection against the sun. Not like those cheap plastic...
I hope not.
You don't like it? Sure, Square Joe. No problem. Let's get you some real shades. Sporty and practical, officer. Good choice.
Volumetric shit compressor. Bizarre scientific news from Revachol West today, where a police officer's shit has been observed at a pressure of around 495 gigadecimals. These metallic hydrogen levels of shit togetherness were thought to exist only at the center of collapsing stars, not law officials. It remains to be seen how long the shit singularity lasts. There are clothes inside.
Don't be shy.
How about some premium class service over here? You see a Samaran street vendor. The name, Sileng.
Happy shopping, officer. Everything's cool. The goods are cool. You're very cool.
You feel a twitch in your index fingers. There's a finger shootout brewing.
Don't shoot, officer. Have we got an arrest here or just a shakedown? Good one, officer. You're a funny guy. Now what can I do for you? Then fire away, officer. Only the coolest goods in Revachol. I've got sneakers, speakers, extremely comfy pants too. Try them on right here. No shame, only freedom. No need for discounts at ceilings, officer. Everything's already on sale. Anything you want, 50% off. I'm an entrepreneur, officer. I've got sources, buyers, suppliers, distributors. Man, you good joke, officer. Here we don't have permits, just economic freedom.
You glance around the decrepit buildings, the miserable weather, the sidewalks strewn with sunflower seeds and a dust-choked air.
It's beautiful. Beautiful freedom.
It is, yes. Anyone...
That's right. No permits, no bureaucracy. That's why this city and its law officials are so cool. Hyper cool. Anything for you. You mean these delicious pre-packaged shelf-stable meal kits? Really easy to cook, no hassle, really cheap too. Buy some, try them out. No problem here, officer. I get...
Wait. Humanex. Humanitarian aid.
What? Look, officer. I'm just a retailer. You'd have to talk to my supplier if you got questions.
Interesting.
Me? It's a boring story, officer. Who cares about the past? I'm all very sharp, officer. I'm Serais from the Sigai province of the Serais Empire. The apricot suzerainty, you know?
The apricot suzerainty is what the Sigai archipelago is commonly known as.
No, apricots come from Sigai. My grandma used to grow them. But Sigai is a shithole. That's why I came to Reva. Speaking of, why not support an independent local entrepreneur? I send half my profits back to my grandma in Sigai.
No need to dress this one up. Just tell him what you want.
Oh, okay. But why, officer? Ah, yes. Money.
Are you trying to ask for a bribe?
Sorry, detective.
G'day to you, officers.
A burly man hangs out by the waterlock, carving up a generous serving of salami with an old hunter's knife. His eyes are fixed on a man stranded on the other side of the waterlock and on an enormous billboard that has fallen down into the canal.
My friend Barry the Butcher is stuck on the other side of the waterlock. I'm keeping him company and eating his salami.
From the corner of your eye, you see a man in a yellow shirt and grey overalls waving at you from across the canal. He seems disappointed about the wreckage on the waterlock and the salami.
Very good stuff. Anything I can do for you, officer? I wasn't here to witness it, but those look like tire tracks on that sign. Weird, huh? Then again, too bad it also takes a year and a day to repair anything around here, especially a waterlock. The rest of the coast is closed off till then. Well, there's the fishing village, an abandoned fish market, a bizarro church. Not much use to the yeah, not really much else. Sure thing.
It is salty, it is savory, it is chewy. The hangover only makes the salami more tasty.
Want some too, officer?
Why not?
A couple of indicator lights are missing from this control panel. This panel usually closes the waterlock, turning it into a bridge that lets you cross the canal. But there's a crashed salmon and butter sign in the way. Pulling the lever, you pull the lever all the way up until the metal clicks against. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. A cold gust of wind blowing in. The spring brings the lever back to its original position. You still need to close the waterlock to get across the canal. Some other way. Wasn't there a sign over there saying functionality will be restored on Wednesday morning? You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback, others in rags, others yet in bright blue uniforms. All are stern and unyielding in their duty. Big men on big horses, clad in lamella armor and carrying flintlocks, the kind that would...
Franco-Nigerian knights. I used to be very serious.
They're not all blue. These figurines also wear gold coats and caps, complemented by orange...
This is what the loyalists looked like, yes, at first. Then they wised up and got camouflage.
Which ones? Ah, royalist soldiers from the time of the Revolution. The uniforms are painted a bit too brightly, I suppose.
This set of soldiers isn't meant to look impressive. A few have rifles, but...
You're probably talking about the revolutionaries, yes? I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you place them next to the royalists, it doesn't seem like they could possibly win. Maybe.
Why? What's this? A headless man riding a horse? A headless man wearing futuristic tracksuit trousers that say found.
Oh, that's the Headless Phone Rider. The Headless Phone Rider. It's an urban legend. About a man who rides the streets of Revachol sporting a fawn tracksuit. As you see, he's missing his 50 cents. Bargain priced. Did I mention that this figurine is supposed to be lucky? Always carry it.
Wow, a very large red t-shirt with an impressive print stands out from the other guy. Oh yeah, the print depicts a muscled man striding toward you. A giant sword in each hand, encircled by burning embers, smells like worn cotton, and a worn cotton with a side of...
Sniffing is okay, but please don't try anything on.
It's the man from...
Walking away from his burning village, yes. The man from Yelmdal is the hero of a series of popular books based on a In fact, most people don't think...
Yelmdal isn't a real...
Neither is the man a real man, of course. But both the man and Yelmdal are an ontological necessity. But hey, it's not worth getting into an argument about. I mean, even if the man from Yelmdal didn't exist before...
Okay.
You sound skeptical. It's not that complicated. All that's required is... Besides, I've been to Kotla. 2 real.
That's dirt cheap.
But why? I sympathize, I do. But this is a for-profit enterprise. Welcome to Yelmdal.
typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps. The light pole has been carefully cut, and the wiring has been redone and attached to a standard indoor plug. The light buzzes faintly, but persistently.
Yes, officer.
His manner is casual, but his speech is careful, measured.
It was brought to me to be all...
We are not here to investigate. You have to admit it's rather clever what he's done with it.
700 real. A bargain, I dare say. There's also the matter of rewiring, but the most important transformation is the light's placement among ordinary indoor fixtures, which has adjusted its morphological field. The light became suitable for use inside the home just a few days ago.
The boomboxes on the shelf look well-loved and well-traveled. Chipped, dented. One especially catches your eye. Just make sure it works before you buy it.
If police work means playing tapes, sure. Absolutely. I've tested each one myself with is the Harman Welshie W2, made in Vesp. It's not often that I see officers. What can I do for you? I haven't had any problems myself.
Who are your customers?
All kinds of people come through here. Locals. As you can see, I have a wide selection of goods for everyone to choose from. It keeps me entertained.
He's well composed, but underneath it you sense psychedelic processes bubbling. Some kind of drug, maybe.
Let me have a look. Anything else you're thinking of selling? Another time, perhaps. I doubt it, but I can try and answer any questions you may have. I do my best to keep my distance.
The pawnbroker's gaze is already fixed on the dancing colors.
Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question. I promptly sold her the gun you pawned a couple days back.
The lieutenant shifts from one foot to another, alert.
She didn't seem like a policeman, although she kept referring to herself as a pig, which was odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit obsessive. But I was just happy, truth be told.
Right, so let me get this right. You sold your sidearm, issued by the citizens' militia, and now a civilian is running around the streets of Martinez with it? You're right that she could cast aspersions on the Force. We have to find her.
My apologies, officer.
A needle in a haystack. There is nothing you can do about it right now. You'll just have...
Maybe. Shady-looking guys came in here yesterday, looking like they went their way. It was a trip, but you...
Wait, then it might be true. Everard's claims.
Maybe Claire really is tracking down your gun.
Of course.
Okay, he definitely is high. Whatever it is, you've probably done it, and many other things besides. But you can't cut through the jumble of sensations to get to the answer. The worn and beaten wooden planks of the...
We can sit on benches after we've solved...
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dedicated to that corpse smell, emitting it. As you breathe in, the odor comes over you. It's a smell of the mind telling you to run, and your stomach to wring itself empty, with your hands at your sides and your eyes. This delicate machine, ready for picking. Instinctively you crack your fingers. The man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and enameled boots. His skin is greenish, marbled with decaying veins, and blotched by lividity. A fading web of tattoos covers his chest and shoulders. The cargo belt used to fasten him to the branch above appears industrial in strength. The material appears to be ceramic. Its clean white stands in stark contrast to the decaying flesh above the knee. The man wore thick polymer socks, probably for padding. A fine array of interlocking plates covers them. Delicate and fragile, they feel alien to the world around you, out of place somehow. These are clearly not boots. They're armor, possibly part of a larger set.
Indeed, Technically speaking, these are sabatons, not boots. Ceramic plate, zirconium dioxide, most likely. This is where the make would be. Under the heel, fair weather. Fair weather model T500 VE. I'm guessing that's vitreous enamel. This is advanced stuff. It is. It's expensive. We've requested similar material for our tactical units for years now. The constabularies deemed it too costly. For a full set, about 4 years of wages. As a wage, it's regrettably small. But for a piece of hardware, yes, that's a lot. That's for us to find out. Mr. Gart implied he was security personnel for the harbor company. This confirms my own assumptions. Just something I scraped together from my station. An area report on Martinez. I'm sure you did this. I agree. This equipment is way beyond what a guard can afford. The locals probably scavenged it. It would be odd if he had more on after 7 days. We should keep a lookout for these species. The armor could yield information. This is one thing he might actually know. No, I think he had something precious underneath the clothes. They had to remove the jeans and shirts we found to get to it. And this kind of armor is often worn under fabrics. They usually hang them completely naked for that. La puta madre, the Mazda, the besmirties and the like.
Fucking talking about underpants.
A small bell-like sound fills the air.
It's anything but. This material is a kinetic redistributor. It spreads kinetic energy horizontally, from plate to plate.
Faint, organic lines cover the plates where they separate into smaller ones. The stench fills your nostrils. As you put...
Stop! Pig's gonna pull his head off.
Brutal!
You're going to pull his head off.
Do it, homo!
Yes, that's what I said. You'll compromise the coroner's case if you do. So please.
Indeed. From this angle, it does look like the neck isn't going to take much more.
What are you trying to achieve anyway? Why are you hanging on to that boot? Maybe we should concentrate on what's outside the boot and leave what's inside to the boys at processing? Just there's no way you're getting them off. All the organic matter in his body has been flowing down into the boots. They are fused to his feet now. Why do you think...
You're sure there's a way to peel them off. But first, the body needs to be down. And second, it would probably be better if the lieutenant wasn't around. The anticipation makes you crack your fingers. Feels nice. Nice and cracky.
Processing will take care of them. With the situation in the morgue, it will yield nothing.
The cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt, his torso covered in tattoos, and extremities blotched pink and blue. The hangman's knot is pulled tight by the weight of the corpse below. Yellow, hard-edged polyester cuts into his neck. Above, a sliding buckle ties the belt to the branch.
Industrial strength, the kind used for tying cargo to lorries. Yes, it looks like they used whatever was on hand. paying no attention to not incriminating themselves. A noose is one of those things that's easier to use one way around. That ladder can't carry a grown man. I didn't see any splintering either, did you? I think they lassoed the branch, then pulled on the belt to close the buckle.
Could be. The shape of the branch supports the theory.
The brief suggested as much, politically motivated by the ongoing strike. Did you not get a briefing? Okay, you should ask me for one the first moment we get. It's not merely polyester, it's steel reinforced. See these lines? This is where the wires run. I see this makes getting him down much more problematic than I had assumed.
The cadaver hangs from the cargo belt, limbs limp and torso covered in tattoos. An intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso, from the right shoulder to the solar plexus. Each time they intersect, a small white star is formed in their crossing. Hundreds of fading asterisks riddle his skin. Their concentration is highest around his heart.
I have only a cursive knowledge of the science of cybernetics. I would not know if it were. But it's not quite complex enough, is it?
It doesn't seem familiar from the insides of any radio computer your mind can imagine. The somewhat organic lines remind you of old filament memory units, but not quite. No, you're nowhere.
So am I.
He wears a wide leather belt around his waist and a gun holster under. He takes a thin piece of milled aluminium from his coat pocket and pulls it open. Sounds like a sword being unsheathed. A small lens appears. Some sort of camera.
Shit, Kuno! What the fuck is that?
An instant color camera. I have only 2 ampoules, so nobody move. I don't want to waste one.
A sound, a shrill flash, followed by the breaking of a small ampoule of glass. You see streams of color pour onto the thick, glossy piece of paper, rolling out.
In case we need it. It contains insight to the victim's person. By his build, I'd say this was a man of physical violence. The story he wanted his body to tell was important to him. It is his letter, to us. Someone should decipher it. We'll need to show it around. Sure, just don't lose it.
The glossy-eyed corpse looks. His eyes are milky white and blind to the world. Protruding comically from these eyes used to be. Dark brown hair grows on his head. His face is ready to explode from the organic processes inside. The death's head grin has passed. What remains is an
Good. The victim is of Occidental descent. Light brown hair, blue eyes. I mean white.
The corpse is dead silent.
Who is he? He is male, 40 to 50, with an athletic build.
The corpse looks right through you as you narrow your eyes. The monster. This is a trick. You've done it before. Pink is where the blood settled in the first hours post-mortem. You can use it to see if the corpse has been tampered with. Does his position at the time of death. Only the lower extremities are pink with a dash of blue. His fatted hands, thighs, and his neck, just above the noose. The rest of the corpse appears dark green in the cold spring air.
I see it. His neck too. The lividity goes right up his chin. We have good, well-pronounced discoloration here.
The monster comes back into focus, an explosion of color, coursing with dark marbled veins. His stomach appears pregnant with something. Black liquid streams down his thigh and onto his boot.
So, what do you think? Agreed, especially on the neck. The belt acted like a tourniquet, keeping the blood in his head. The hypostasis supports a hanging. Everything here seems to corroborate that assumption, but we should still get him down before assigning a probable cause of death. I do. Most of them are post-mortem, maybe even all of them. The delinquents have made our jobs harder.
Stop talking in riddles, coin slot.
He means you fucked him up good, Kuno. Fucked him up brutal-like.
I agree. Totally dead. Dabba-doob-doob dead.
A pool of blood and feces has eaten into the frozen mud below the man's feet. Purge liquid is dripping into it, drop by drop.
The victim appears to have contained no more than half a kilogram of digestion at the time of death.
The fuck he's saying?
Talking about shit.
Malicious laughter erupts.
Big said he's a...
The lieutenant's face is made of stone, but there is no breath to catch. Only the cadaver filling the air and your nostrils. He slowly rotates before you, decomposing.
Are you sure we finished the preliminary examination of the cadaver? We might miss some of these things once he's done.
The cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt. His torso.
The steel-reinforced belt presents a unique challenge. I brought chain cutters, but I don't see... The cadaver is a good 1.2 meters up. Neither one of us can reach the belt without assistance. And even if we do, there's the question of cutting.
An acrobatic maneuver would solve this situation. Nothing can go wrong with a good maneuver.
I have thought of that, yes. But the tire tracks would compromise the scene. Any prints would be... Also, my MC has a sloped roof. It's a sports model. The roof is slippery. An all-around bad platform to stand on. How about I take you, piggyback?
The fuck are these pigs talking?
Oh, they're bank or something. Oh, it's fucking boring, Kuno. Wish they'd fuck already.
I wasn't actually implying I would. I meant...
It's a fucking hilarious idea. You two puskapas get on top of each other.
In silence, the lieutenant gives you a meaningful glance, as if to say, case in point.
I was really hoping we wouldn't. The Union appeared to be suspect in this case. It seems like a dangerous route to go down.
But what other options?
Climb up there and... so...
It seems unclimbable, cause the ladder is treacherously rotten. But you could use your hands and feet to reach around the tree.
Honestly, I prefer a non-acrobatic solution to this. Clown cops climb tree, fall down. Enraged cop assaults children after falling from cretin cop, they like that word, saws the branch he's sitting on, literally. Local children report corpse...
Fuck yeah, climb that shit, monkeys.
See, you're only making them do those things less.
No, I do not see the future. I made those up using 2 decades in the Revacholian police force as a reference point. Yes, we should use...
Oh, these have got to be the most fucking boring multiple parts I've ever seen.
Okay, they do have the tools and the men. And since it looks like they put him there... Okay, let's do it in the lousy, dangerous way. Hooray for us.
Fuck does Kuno... Kuno doesn't... Fuck does Kuno care? Yeah? The kingdom of Kuno? Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give the fuck about it. Kuno doesn't give a shit about the armor. Kuno's fuck gimp's got one big thing wrong with him. He's a fucking mutant. Look at him. Fucking growth hormone shit. He's a giant. The armor's too big for any man. Kuno doesn't give a shit about that freak armor. Kuno threw that shit away. Kuno tried to get the helmet on. It was too big. Kuno kicked that shit in the sea, rugby style. That shit means nothing. Yeah? That shit means nothing to Kuno. Kuno doesn't give a shit about material shit. Kuno's a fucking monk. You wanna fuck on someone about that armor? Go fuck the mustached union fuck. The jolly troubadour shit at the gate. Yeah, cock and boot. You know that jolly union cow fucker? Came around talking about cows or some shit? Came around pretending...
Yes, you met him at the gates. The one with the boot.
Yeah, he's the one you want to talk to. He's fucking crazy about that armor shit. Coming here pretending like he likes cows. Trying to catch a peep at Kuno's armor. Fuck are you talking about? What is this contusion?
He says you're stupid, Kuno. They want to make you stupid again.
Oh, did Kuno make your shit sniffing harder? Obstruction of shit sniffing. This is Kuno's kingdom. Kuno fucking rules here.
You hear the lieutenant hum.
Fuck are you talking?
He says you're stupid, Kuno. They want to make you stupid again.
Words are fucking shit. Make you stupid. Kuno's got his own words now. Kuno, fuck are you talking?
He says you're stupid.
Oh, get the fuck out of here calling Kuno stupid. Pigs come to Kuno for guidance, then say he's
They're lost without you, Kuno. They need you.
Why don't you figure your shit out yourself before...
Maybe we should.
You're testing...
Get lost.
Kuno doesn't...
Can I help you? Yes. Have you got it? A lot. For the room and broken window? Oh, yes.
You see a heavy... The man ponders his... That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching how syrupy and sticky it is. How long have you been up already? Oh, excuse me. Do you have something better to do than lust for sweet syrupy rum and lemonade? With a... Lorry stuck in the traffic jam. This big, heavy The windows are clear. They've been recently washed. You can see a lorryman's cabin. Fumes of heavy fuel oil waft over you, making your eyes sting. The odor mixes with cigarette. The driver has adorned his space with a substantial collection of peculiar paraphernalia. Proclamations about honor. A large metal pendant hangs from the rear view mirror. The pendant features a sun crown. The back end of the cabin has a small perch to sleep. Large ashtrays. There are
racist nationalist paraphernalia. Not unusual in this part of town. This is our guy. Likely, yes. This guy's proud of who he is. Drapes it all over him.
There he is, in front of Rita, smoking nervously, hoping it's over.
Right to work! Right to work! Shame on you! Things are busy enough. You going to waste less of my time?
The hulking man oozes stark skepticism.
What's it to you? Am I a suspect? Done no crimes. I only fight for the rights of people. We're all workers, right? Workers stick together. Worked at Territorial. Uh-huh. It was a long time ago. Honest men and women. We came here to help the Hob out.
I have a question. Why do all these men follow?
You think they follow because I'm big and loud? No. They follow the rules of the
We were promised work. We'd be in there. Main gate's locked. And I don't mean the scrawny mess punk either. Yeah? That giant up there, on the bridge you talked to. Bad. Standing on a narrow bridge, he's got a strategically advantageous... I don't know how the Union has a trained killer up there. But that one's no joke. Like civilized folk, you mean? These native...
It would be better for the neighborhood if you went home.
No! They will give up eventually. Or get drunk. Leave the button unguarded. Then, we charge.
Right to work! Right to work!
Looking for something, Hunt? Come to tell me to fuck off again? It's about biological... Not the most popular topic, no.
Not sheep, ostriches.
I'm not the only one. Look, I've read books. The science of racial theory has all been proved. Even if people who've studied these things say that you and me are super... So, lately we Occidentals have experienced an unfortunate downturn when members of the superior race... The problem? The damn kips are showing a real good game lately. Same with the mosquitoes. And the other introduced species too. They're on the Oh? Don't push your...
Hola, wandering man. The little boy had the good on his promise. To get me into trouble. To sick the pigs on me, pardon the choice of words.
What happened?
I was asked to look into that armor situation. Official Union...
Did you?
At first I thought, why not? Maybe the pieces can feed the strike. Buy us a few more days under the sun, you know? So I went to this boy. He said he'll make me his prison bitch. He's got eyes everywhere, the cop's in his pocket, and he's the king of Jamrock. Serves me right for doing menial footwork. I dropped that probe right then and there, and it still got me into trouble. One bad move is all it takes. I learned that people don't want to talk to a drunk Union man about some...
What else?
Not much. Technical stuff mostly. That was the interesting part. It's a minor nuisance. It's all good. I did some research into this armadura. Let's say I have friends at the library. I didn't get into the material science, just how it comes off.
How does it come off?
In parts. 4 in total. The helmet was the first to go. The kid says he tore it off and kicked it into the sea. I believe him. The boots were still on the guy last I saw. So, as I count, there are 2 parts missing. The gauntlets and the cuirass. This is where I left off. Too much hassle. More like a job for some militia. Oh, they're just gone. They don't exist anymore, if they ever did at all. Forget about them. I did.
All of it? There are junior officers out there, eager to prove themselves. I would leave some for them.
A Mesqui's epic then, all across Martinez. I hope it will be a real bonanza for you. No problem. If you see that kid, thank him from Call Me Mañana. Thank him for showing me the way.
Kuno care? So? Yeah, so? Kuno did sick the pigs on him. Kuno's a man of his...
Kuno sent your fat-ass friend...
Look, pig. Kuno sent you to rough some people up. Kuno played you. That happened. Now you and Kuno should move on.
Good idea.
You got fucked. You got fucked, pig. Fucked bad. Of course you're gonna remember this. Now get the fuck out of here, griefing the Kuno. After this shit, you better have something real
Yeah, real interesting.
The fuck do you want with it? Good call, Pigmeister. Don't come and talk to Kuno about his kingdom. Kuno's Kuno, pig? Shoot that shit at Kuno, pig o' naught. Kuno doesn't...
I'll die before I squeal, pig. I come from the woods, good Davidu. You don't want to go there with me. You
don't be traumatizing.
I'll die before I squeal, pig. Stay away from me, pig. You don't... I'll die before I... What's this kid shit? Fucking mind games. I'd rather die than...
Get the fuck out of here,
So it's a girl. Interesting.
I'll die before I squeal, pig.
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always. You don't have to sit down this time.
You might have noticed there's one hanging on a tree behind the hostel cafeteria.
Oh my. Don't take this question personally, but why would I get involved in this matter?
Mr. Clare, the man was hanged with a cargo belt. A steel-reinforced cargo belt. It's safe to... Besides, getting the body down would benefit all of us. It's a stain on the neighborhood.
I can certainly see how having him up there might start affecting some real estate values. But of course, all joking aside, I am going to help you. Jean-Luc, my boy, I'm sending 2 police officers down. They have a dead body in a tree problem they need help with. Namely, they need it to be taken down. And Jean, please take it easy with the race signs. That's a yes to getting the body down, no to the race signs. You can find Jean-Luc down at the gates. He's the big impressive one. You know, tattoos, muscles, ethnic looking. Can't miss him. Great. See you soon, Deba.
Before the cargo container. Its draw has not lessened since you were last here. If anything, it seems to have grown slightly. Why are you even trying to open a door with rhetoric?
Because what wasn't an option? Now is not the time to get philosophical, detective. You can do that after hours.
Race descent has only worsened since I last saw you. So it was. You surmounted the harbor wall in a display of athletic prowess to reach my...
You're so noble, Measurehead.
But while I am gone, someone must stand guard on the bridge. That someone needs to be you. Both of you.
This is the uncomfortable result of not taking it on ourselves.
Listen to your little friend. Babe, see that they stay here the whole time.
The woman's gaze follows Measurehead.
So, you guys are like cops or something? Cool. I like men with guns and power.
You hear that? That sound. He's breaking something.
Yeah, Jean-Luc must be really tearing it up over there. I wish I could see it.
Look at you! RCM rent-a-cops! Guarding that bridge like Everott's lapdogs! Is this where it's at now? The RCM is for sale!
And who are you? What is your business here? Why are your clothes 4 sizes too small for you?
A shrill laughter interrupts you, echoing across Martinez. It's Kuno. Then, the man turns to look behind him at the behemoth appearing around the corner, approaching him, walking past him.
The corpse has been removed from the tree. Stand down and congratulate yourself. You have sided with Ray's victory today. And what you had to do was to become a Union man for all to see.
You missed a good show before. A kid came by and completely fucked the tree to pieces.
He fucked the tree up! Fuck!
By the way, Kipt is a racial slur.
Stop choking, Kuno! The faggot has got you in a chokehold!
Kuno's not fucking choking. Like fuck you did. Kuno's gonna keep saying Kipt forever now. Kipt. Shit. The fuck did you want anyway? You got your fuck bag down. Now let's talk normal shit. Yes. Kuno wants a normal conversation. Ask normal shit, please. The fuck about it? You're testing.
Get lost!
Yeah? The king. Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit. Kuno's Kuno, pig. Shoot that shit at Kuno. The fuck do you want? Good call, pig. Kuno doesn't.
Finger pistol, 9mm. Snap, baby. Turns out guns aren't that much for protecting as they are for attacking people. If you want to protect people, really work for them, you have to whip out your signature dual 9mm Villiers finger pistols. Who needs real guns anyway? That conversation you just had? It would have gone better had you snapped those bad boys at them. Note, 9mm dual finger pistols do not count for an actual weapon in a gunfight. corpse lies on the ground among the remains of an absolutely demolished pinewood branch. It's gently laid on one side.
Mr. Measurehead has done a good job. Nothing is too broken or compromised. The victim is ready for a field autopsy. Yes. 1. Investigation of the scene. 2. Initial examination of the victim. 3. Field autopsy. 4. Transportation of the body to the morgue.
The fuck are they on about?
Cop's gonna cut his shit up.
No, you and I are detectives. The honorary rank of detective signifies our ability to handle the entire incident chain, from autopsy to cleanup to social work, everything. You are. Your station would not have assigned you on this case if you weren't. It's either this, or we complete the initial interviews. We already met Evrard, that only leaves the Wild Pines representative. There's one in town, negotiating the strike. She could have information.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them. There truly is a time for everything, even for yellow gardening gloves. However, they are lacking hygienically. I suggest you get in there in limited capacity. I'll ask you when I need you to. For the most part, maybe I should handle the contact and you take notes? That's right.
The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists, describing the condition of his skin and organs in 3 parts. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with,
That's you.
the corpse is indifferent to your scribblings.
KK57. Next. NA. Next. NA. Roughly 50.
The corpse looks ageless, like meat on a hook.
Mondial. Subgroup Occidental.
The pudgy mess looks neither mondial nor occidental.
Fucky, fucky!
Male.
Pigs can have sex!
Nor does he look male, with his pregnant belly.
We're still going with March 4th. 51. What else? 9. Body identified by is non-applicable. 10.
KK57 0503 0.
None. At least not after the initial examination. They'd have to have incapacitated and carried him over. This man was more than a match for untrained.
Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature, a hold.
We should start the post-mortem.
The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copier paper tries to answer why.
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodine, I think. Let's see.
See?
Babrodine, yes. Inexpensive. Size?
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more lurid.
The rest of the clothes have been removed post-mortem by scavengers in order to get to the victim's ceramic armor. Officers are in search of the missing pieces. Removal of the boots is left for
It would be clever of you to omit the boots altogether, sire. If you are to keep them for yourself, as you ought to, you have deserved them more than anyone else. Patience. After the autopsy, before the body is taken away, there will be a window of opportunity after the lieutenant has gone to sleep.
Tattoos. The upper torso is covered in a single, continuous tattoo, resembling a microelectronicals. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings, to be added to the case files as document A1. The photo is taken on the scene, using a Trigat Mini. The deceased has a cargo lashing belt around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color yellow. Length 3 meters. There is a buckle on the other end. Well-nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally consistent. Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short.
The hair under your latex fingers feels cold to touch, wet. The stench is suffocating. Strands of dark. There must be brilliantine in there. He's combed his hair back with oil.
Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest.
Fucking low velocity. You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max. Talking shit about Kuno's velocity.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest, consistent with predation. Ligature mark. The steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the ligature mark.
You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters.
Always good to think ahead. Now, we need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below. Carefully, with as...
See? My pig is...
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
You are? This pig?
Being Kuno's pig has a steadying effect on your hand. Go with the flow, man. The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges. The knot is the weak spot. The chain cutters fit in there. Steady now, like a flower arranger. 2 cuts and it should come loose. After some deliberation, you sink the cutters into the knot tying the belt together. You squeeze the rubber handles to snap. The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck and the dark red ligature mark around it.
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck. Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from chest is intact, normal contour, abdomen is protuberant, pelvis intact, genitalia.
No! Let's get out and see!
I fucking knew it!
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury.
The dead man's penis is average-sized, congested from the downward collection of blood. The testicles are uneven.
Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. In addition, I see smaller, residual scars. Last item, hands.
The hand feels heavy, filled with decay liquids, like it's ready to explode if squeezed hard.
Hands are clean. No sign of injury from struggling. I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, the stench is making... Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next? I'm afraid we can't continue before we've gone through both the external and internal examination first, thoroughly. Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous system?
You don't even have a joke.
Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it, gently. A rotting smell. You hear cracks as the lieutenant moves his sharp fingers inside the flesh, like the creaking of a...
Yeah, jack that fucker up!
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact. Respiratory system. Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen, hemorrhaging present in mucosa of the lips and mouth.
No scream, no sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's humid there. It's hard. Once more, you taste stomach acid in the back of your throat. A contraction. Inside, you see darkness. Just mute silence as always.
Hemorrhaging present in mucus. Hepatobiliary, Na. Are you a hepatobiliary expert? Neither am I. That's it. Same for toxicology and serology, unless you have untapped reservoirs of knowledge there? Like a toxicology screening? At this stage, I doubt processing will find anything. Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the hands, feet, and neck. Hypostasis is visual. Gastrointestinal. Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila. What's next on the list? Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll
be thorough if you want maximum results.
Head, chest, and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage. And your opinion, officer? Agreed. Next injury. So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. The perpetrator
At maximum velocity, fucko!
has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity.
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath, the description of injury. 2 boxes.
Right. Next. A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side, the ring around his neck. Think for a moment. There's time. Don't rush.
Why do you say that? Okay. Why don't you think it was fatal? Honestly, I'm not sure there weren't marks on his wrist. That part got blurry for me. The stench. But you are right, I was ready to call this. Now I think we should leave it empty. At least let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over. It was an irregular field autopsy. We did not establish cause of death, which is supposed to be the goal. We also requested a toxicological screening. That was thorough. The results should arrive in a... Then, given the state of decay here, I consider establishing the victims. We were thorough with the list of injuries too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the circumstances, it was a professional field autopsy. I need a copy of that autopsy form. Then I will drive him to Faubourg for processing.
You tilt your head, also looking at the corpse. The fish lips stay silent in response. You must be losing your mind.
I told you, he is male, 40 to 50, with an athletic build.
Your arms reach out and your eyes close, as if by their own volition. It's dark all around. You feel cold, slippery flesh, first with your fingertips. It's right under the palm of your hand. His face, his cheeks, his nose, his fat, swollen lips. Like a rubber spider, your gloved hand crawls on his features. Everything is silent, all around. They are swollen shut. You need to really pull. Only the little one fits. The flesh changes shape as you bore in.
The fuck is he doing?
The thing you're looking for, it's not there. Crawl at. The oral cavity is cold and moist. A ball-like tongue attaches itself to the base of the mouth, lolling around like a The tongue moves freely in the cavity. The mucus of the mouth is slippery, fragile, even through the latex. From the soft meat, can you feel it? You're so close. Rip is a vision of black and dark red death, pried open by your hands and studded with teeth. Looks like he's laughing. Death fumes rising from his throat. And you see a hole, barely visible to the human eye. It is swollen shut, almost vanished, no larger than 0.4 centimeters in radius. Kuno nods, too. He takes a step closer. A black trickle of liquid runs into his throat from the wound. Your index fits right in there. A tight tunnel of flesh opens up. Tissue damage. Wide enough for 2 fingers. As you push both in, you reach through his mouth, right into his brainstem.
The fuck is happening?
Ah, shit, see?
Yes, that's what this part is called. The basal ganglia feels clumpy. What entered here has torn apart his reptilian complex. Your yellow fingers slide into the remains of the limbic system. There is no resistance. It's gelatinous. The slug-like structures are damaged too. The tearing extends deep into both hemispheres. The lieutenant answers with the sound of his pen on paper.
Fucking cavity, see?
Your fingers are all the way in now, reaching toward the inside of his skull. The cavity goes further, but the entry wound isn't wide enough for the rest of your hand to follow. Your fingers reach toward his skull. His cerebral cortex feels like jelly, cold jelly. Strange fluid streams down your wrist as you push deeper until you feel it on the tip of your finger. Ice cold serrated metal. Its edges cut right through the latex and into your finger.
Can you get to it?
There's a tiny crack, a protrusion in the cranium, right in the back of his head. Your finger must be pointing straight at it, from the inside. The object that is in there stops just short of the skull, in the encephalus, knocking this tiny fracture into the cranium.
We have the makings of a very small exit wound here.
Forget about the fucking exit wound, Beano. The pig is wearing him like a fuck puppet.
You pick the object between your index and middle finger. It feels sharp, like metal. With your face twisting from pain and concentration, all you need to do is just... The inside of the head feels cold and smooth, like a glove, sweat dripping down your brow. Careful not to lose the prize between your fingers. With a plop, your hand emerges from the mouth. The garden glove is covered in blood right up to the wrist. Between your fingers, a small flower, a blossom made of lead.
Fucking beautiful!
A bullet.
The bullet falls in the bag, leaving a smattering of blood on the plastic. He raises the bag under his eyes and says,
A non-caliber. Rifle. Some kind of brittle alloy. Fractured on impact. No, you deserve it. We can log it later. We need to add an item to the injury list. Injury number 4. Oval entry wound with an abrasion color. Soft palate, back of mouth. High velocity. Temporary cavity in brain tissue. Small exit wound on the occiput. How does that sound? Opinion, fatal injury. And one last thing. We can now fill in injury number 3. Ligament mark. Opinion non-fatal. Post-mortem. Treatment.
He's proposing the bullet was the real cause of death, and the hanging an attempt to conceal this fact.
Treatment, officer, is an attempt to manipulate the body after death, to hide the real cause with this injury here. Yes, and the belt around his neck, the hanging, even dragging him to the yard. All of it was done after this man was already dead. Deadity dead. I have had my doubts since you showed me the tracks. Why did they carry him over? Why not march him, I thought. There was no satisfying explanation. There have been other signs too, small things. We were right not to assign hanging as cause of death, as the perpetrators expected we would. No such luck for them. Oh, you really do. I am glad to hear you say that. Your room in the Whirling in Rags should come with a bathroom. Be sure to make use of it in the evening. To hide something. To hide something. That's for us to find out. Yes, we should take a closer look at it.
This little thing could reveal much about the weapon that shot it.
We put him in a bag and carry him to the holding pen of my kinema. The body. I would drive him to processing, but it's too late to do that today. One more thing. This was really good work, detective.
I'm gone. I'm a joke. Look at me. There is nothing funny about a killer. A motherfucker. Go ahead, Kobo. Into the wall in the past. What do you mean? Ask me more questions. Because you're a copperoony. Look at all of them go. Do you want more questions? Coming right up, copperoony Rooney. This is getting upbeat now. Fuck no. You're no Rooney. No, you're not a Harry either. You're a motherfucker. That's who you are. Because you have love did me in, brother Copo. It was love all along. Sure, Lobo. I can ask you a question. Why are you looking at my face? Motionless. Looking into my eyes. Standing here. Why are you? You're a lying sack of shit, Copo. You're doing this because there is nothing else. Do I remind you of someone? There you go. Look at that bright kid.
Feeling nausea, vomiting, tenderness or pain around the liver area, tiny red lines on the skin above waist level, more like days, Coppo. The clock is ticking. Your liver tells you so.
Come back later, Coppo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible. Also, see me in your dream.
All right. There go those beautiful enamel boots. You will never own the full set now. May they rest in processing. Oh well, in another lifetime.
I will need a little help carrying him. You take the hands, I'll take the legs. We should think about calling it a day, maybe. The nights are still miserable. You should take care of that, then. Let's talk to him anyway. An officer of the RCM shouldn't be sleeping in...